think it's like draw behind or something like that. Is it showing? Yeah, draw behind. Do you get? So let me off it for now. Let me just take one of these guys, right? Let me just select this one and use my black and draw something like this. Do you get? And change the color. So I want to draw. You see that this one is drawing on top. Let me just use normal. It's drawing on top. So if I click on this draw behind and I click, see what happens. It's drawing behind. You get? You understand? It's actually drawing behind the initial one that you drew. So that's what that does. Then this one is what? Autofill. So autofill, if you open autofill down, right? Let me come to my brush. And you select your, is it your black now? Okay, anyhow, select your red. And you now come to this drawing and you want to draw it round like this. You know, normally here is still space, there's still space there. You have to come in and now color it yourself. You get? So but there's now a tool called autofill. So when you click on this tool, that's down here, hope you can see it, that's in this place, and you now started drawing. See what happens? It didn't feel. Why didn't it feel? Do you see? You see? You get, right? Because it's actually obeying the same principles of what we've been talking about since. Listen. You understand? So you can also use that to do that. It'll be fine. Let's see if pencil also has it. So pencil also has the same thing, right? That's minimum maximum size. Do you get? To make it bigger or thinner. But then it has something like this called centerline smoothing. If you increase this guy, it will reduce the number of nodes it's using. Do you see? 1, 2, 3 only. But let me come back to pencil and reduce the center line to like almost 0 and draw the same thing around. Check the nodes. See how many nodes is there compared to this one. So it's always good to work with something smooth. But when you want to write now, let's say you want to write Samuel, do you get? You will notice that if you increase this guy and you want to write Samuel, do you see what's happening? Because it's smoothing it. It needs more. We need more stuff to write M, more nodes to write is successful M. It's because I'm even zoomed in. Do you see? You understand? So but then if this guy is down like this now, you can do whatever you want in terms of freehand. You understand? But if this one is too smooth and you do like this, see what happens? It doesn't make it, because it's trying to smoothen it. You want to draw a head now, it's trying to smoothen it for you, so you don't have too much points. You get? Alright. So now for pencil 2 as well, for example, if you want flat edges, flat points, you know, it's point to point you are writing, and you click on and you do this, check the edges, you see that it's flat here and it's also flat here. But if you want just one to be flat, or in fact this joint here, you can also make it like bevel or straight. So see, do you see? You see what it did to this? It made it didn't curve it like it curved this one. It made it sharp edged, right? So for example, when you want to do this, see what happens. So it's also good for design. You see? But the time you now put it in this type of bevel, you have something like this. It cuts it here and cuts it here. You get. But when you put it in round edge, and you do this, it's gonna make it round. You understand? So now, back to pencil. Let's see what else we have. Any other juicy thing? You remember behind, paint behind. You remember autofill, right? Then what's this one? What's this one? Let's see. So it's going to help you trim extra lines when you click on this. You know, normally when you do like this, you have to come and cut it yourself, right? But let's see what this does. So let's click on it and do this. Do you see? You see? So it won't cut when you did it separately from themselves. It will only cut when they are together. You get. So what else? What's this? It says align handles after trim. Okay. So what it's doing is that it's trying to align the handles. It's trying to help you with these handles to align them properly. Okay, I think. Let me do something. Let me remove it. Oh, so this one cannot work without this. They work hand in hand. Yeah. This one is actually the control vertices it's talking about. The control, right? It's talking about all these guys. It's talking about these guys. This one. Do you get? It's talking about these guys. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. So pencil, you know how brush has the different. What's wrong with my Toon Boom today? What is happening? Am I using too much RAM? It has crashed again. Why is it just crashing and crashing? It's because there's something else I'm trying to work on. I've been working since morning anyway. Okay, so now let's go to the different types of brush pencils. So if you click on this one now, see the pencil. Let me draw. Do you see? You see what it's doing? It's making both edges fat. Let me go to another one. Uniform thickness stencil. You see? Uniform thickness. Curved below thickness. Do you see this? This other one too. So just go and play with all these guys. You see? One side will be thick, one side will be thin. You understand? So there are different types of styles. So anyone that works best for you. Maybe you are trying to do a head now, and you use one of these guys. In fact, there's even rough. See, there's even textured one too. Yeah, you understand. You get something like that. Okay. So another one. Let me see. All right. So that's for pencil. There's also snap, I guess. Snapping. What's this one? This auto close group. You get. There's auto close group. So what it means is that even though you draw something like this, it's supposed to draw like an invisible line. Here, let's press our K. Let's see. So let me do like this. Let me do like this. I didn't join it, but it joined automatically. Do you see? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let me come like this again. You see, join this by itself. So the closer you are to both points, you can see there's space, but it has joined with invisible line for us, so that we can still be able to color it. Do you get? So now let me off my K. When you do, let me see, let me see, I think it's select. Okay, let me draw this shape first. Right, let me now cut it. Let me select it. Okay, so I want to paint it now. You know that there's a space here, there's a big space here. When you press your K, of course it's not joined, you know, you have to close it. But when you go to your color, this thing is called close. This thing here inside your paint bucket 2. All right, when you go to property of the paint bucket 2, this stuff here is also called your close, like degree of closeness. You understand? So I'm trying to color it now. You know it's not going to color, but the more I shift, yeah, because it's not covered, but the more I shift, this guy is closer. You see it's not closed, right? But when I go back to my paint bucket 2 and I look at this guy, you will notice that there's like no close gap, close small gap, close medium gap, and close large gap. So peradventure I want to color this one now that it is not closed, I can go like this and click on it and it will close by itself. Do you get? Because of this guy. But imagine this is in no close gap, that's 0. The value here is 0, and you click on this, it's not going to close no matter what I do. I've been clicking on it since it's not going to close. But when you come here and you change this one to close small gap, right, and you click on it, you see it has closed. So the question is, what is the largest it can go that it will still close? Do you get? When you paint, so see, I'm painting, it's not closing. But yeah, let me go up a bit to 4. It's not closing, it's not, I'm pressing it, it's not closing, because this gap is actually large. You understand? So see, let me go up a bit again to 6. Let me try. You see? So 6. You notice I'm zooming out as well, just in case, just to change the perspective in my own mind, so that, you know, the further it goes, the more it looks like the two connections are connecting each other. You get? Are closer, because I'm going further and further and further and further away. You get? So yeah, so keep that in mind. It's when I saw this one in the pencil that I now remember that when we normally have to get there first before I teach you, but it's still good I talk about it before I get there. All right, so excuse me, what is this one? Snapping. Turn on to snapping with help with precise position or drawing. So let's turn it on. Let's see. Oh, this is when you are snapping to alignment guides, but you don't have alignment guide activated yet. Do you get? Alignment guides are like long lines like this. Do you get? That you can use to guide your drawings. Like maybe you put head within this. Do you understand? Something like that, within that space. So it's telling us that you can snap pencil to this alignment guide. Okay, so let's continue. So yeah, so it's always good, maybe you should just on this down. That's if you want to work with it. Some people just prefer to do all their coloring on line art rather than clicking on this to be projecting it down to the color art. So they do everything just line art rather than have too many usage of this, because these layers, yeah, art layers. So this other one now, okay, so now this is like you are drawing a square. Do you get? But so it locks it. Do you see? Do you see? So yeah, if you can't, no, like when creating it is padlocked, but that doesn't mean you can't come in and do this. Do you get? It's not locked, like lock as you think. Do you understand? It's when creating it that it will give you a perfect square. But then the reason why I know I don't need it is because I have my magic button, shift. Do you get? I'll just click down on shift. See, it's still the same thing. I've clicked down on shift. If I don't click down on shift, because now, okay, you now on the padlock, you now created the first one, created, and you want to now create just a normal rectangle. You have to now start going here to go and look for it to off it. Do you get? So it's just kind of useless to me when I can just auto, because this one, when I click on it, it locks it. When I release it, it does not lock it. So that's faster for me. And time is of the essence. Time is money. Time now money. All right. So the next one, we have the ellipse. You know, the same thing. We have the line, right? The same thing. Yeah. So you can see this part of the line where when you can draw a straight line like this. Oof, I love this thing. I love what I'm seeing. Like, nice. You can draw a straight line like this, right? But if you click on this, you can draw it like this and release. Do you see? I'm not touching anything. You understand? I'm not touching any control. I'm just doing like this. I've not even clicked. I've not clicked on the tablet. I'm just moving it like this. See what's happening. So when I now click, it will now form in that place. You see, I've clicked. You understand? It will now form like an arc. Yeah. But the other one now, let's go to the other one. The other one is like polyline, right? When you click straight, you can see I'm moving my hand. I'm just doing this. I've not clicked yet. I go up here, I click. It's still holding. Do you see? For the second click. So I can now come here and click again. Do you get? So that's the difference. So when you now look at the contour editor, you can see something like this. But the reason why I don't use it, as I will tell you again, is because I want to control my thing myself. Rather than having this thing selected, I'll just select this one. This one is okay for me. I create this, I come to my contour, I do this, and I do this. Simple. I don't need to start doing click just to get that done, right? Alright, so the next one is our paint bucket. You know, I've explained this already, right? Then, what else was this? So you can even change it here. Paint. I've already explained all these ones. On paint, paint on painted, blah blah blah, repaint, right? So what is this? Paint and remove texture. We don't use texture. You know, I keep saying it. The only time you use texture is you want to do eyebrow, you want to do all those, you know, now those textured stuff. But we hardly even use it. Do you get? It's when you are done, you now click on this, the eyebrow, like this. What I mean? Carry your pencil. Okay. This is your eyebrow paradenture now. You come here. What is this? Sorry. You come here, select it. You can let's increase the size first. What does it? Do you get? So this is the eyebrow. Click on it. You now go to this is the texture it's talking about. So when you are done, you can just click on charcoal, rough, chalk, green, this, that, this, want it, anyhow you want it, or none, or just delete, remove the texture. You understand? So that's basically it. Okay. Okay. So the eyedropper 2. Okay. The color eyedropper 2. So what it does is, let's say peradventure you have now, let's say I have can just do another one. Let's say I have another eyebrow here, but the color is red, right? So I'll just come here, click on this. It will take me to the color of this one here. Then I will now come back here, and because now maybe you have like 2,000 colors here, Do you get? And you're trying to look for the specific color for this one, right? Then you can now come to the eyedropper to click on it, and it will take you straight to the particular color. You understand? It's fine, it's okay. Then you now come and click on this and do this. Let me see what to do. Oh, okay, it's okay. Do you get? So it's good for you to locate color on this guy. So that's the definition for eyedropper, the exact color. Yeah, so you don't want to use another black for this one. You want to use the same vectorized black for that you use for this to use for this. Fine. Okay, so that's that about that one, right? What is this? Do not pick transparency and sample all layers. Okay, so this one will sample all the different layers. Layer 1, layer 2, layer 2, 3. Drawing layer 1. You know, we have just 2 drawing layers here. Do you get? So you don't need to come down here to go to the next layer to be able to sample that layer. Alright? Okay. So the next one also I don't use. Right? What is this? This is this. Drawing pivots, Shift P. Okay. So you have maybe a drawing like this. Let's click on it, drawing pivot. Okay, I think I know the pivot he's talking about. Okay, so he's not talking about this pivot. Do you get? He's talking about another pivot, drawing layer pivot. This layer itself has its own pivot, not the art now, not this art. Do you get? Because this one now, when you come here, click on this, you can rotate around the pivot, right? But when you use this one, this is it here, and you change the drawing pivot, let's say to here, I click back on this, you can see this is where the pivot is. So you can literally now move around that. This one is much easier to use this to animate, because see, you have this, there's something called spine 2. We've not gotten to timeline, so you know, carry this one up like this. See, do you get? This is the spine 2, this spine. So when we get to the timeline, that's when you know how to use it. Okay, from here you can remove this. So have keyframes. This is the first one, this is the end one. Remember, post to post. Do you get? So that's basically what it is. So like peradventure, you want to do that same thing that we talked about. Let me delete this layer. Delete. Let me add another one. Ctrl R, add and close. Let me now draw the objects. Let me use another. Let me draw the objects. Color white. Click on this. Okay. Where's the pivot now? Let's put the pivot. This pivot. Let's put it here. Okay. Let's extend this guy. We've not gotten there. F5. We've not gotten there yet. Do you get? We've not gotten to timeline. That's why I'll explain all these things. I set a keyframe. Make it, move it up. Alright. And move it down. You get? So this is basically what's happening. Alright. Now, and I want to do that thing. Let me extend this guy more. And I want to do that thing that when it hits the floor, it squashes. You remember squash? And stretches. Then goes back to original position. This thing. goes, in fact, goes up, stretch up, squash a little bit here. Do you get? Let's move it a bit. So see. You want it to be faster, you just bring it a bit closer. Listen. So that's what I was trying to do the other time, that I was doing frame by frame. Do you get? So there's always an easier way to go about animation. You can decide to use frame by frame, or this spine method, or cutout. They call it excuse me, call it pegging method, spine method, or cutout method. All right, pegging method, which is like puppet, spine method, which is this one, this black line, right, going from one keyframe to another keyframe to another keyframe. So it's Toon Boom that is planning all this in between drop, you know. All right, so that's that about this one. Okay, and also in the setting of this one, I'll still go back to this one. In the setting of this one, you can flip. You see what happened. But because I flipped it, you know, these ones have not been flipped too. That's why it behaved like that. So you flip horizontally and vertically, right? You see. Or you turn 90 degrees. You understand? Turn more 90 degrees again. Okay. All these ones, they are values of this guy, I think. You can increase it, right, or reduce it. Do you get? But it's just good to manually do it yourself. You understand? So that's the artistic part. Alright, so the same thing with this select tool, right? This one you can move, you can scale, you can reposition, you can scale. Do you get? Right. Yeah, and I think that's all. Excuse me, I have to rest a bit though. Okay, so then we have the pan, you know, the hand pan. So the shortcut for panning is spacebar. For adventure, you are not using this, you can just use your spacebar to move around. Click down on your spacebar. My own spacebar is also used for playing, like play and stop, right? But when it's time for you to start doing play stop, you will have to go and change some shortcuts. Okay, we have to go and change some shortcuts for you, so that you can be able to play easily, stop easily, to cut, to do anything that you are doing. All right, so we'll still do some settings here for you. Okay, but for now, at least for now, I think you're supposed to use shift enter to play, shift enter, or just come here and play. You don't need shortcuts. All right, just come here and press play. Okay, so another one that I will teach you now, you know, I've taught you pivots, you know, like drawing pivots. Another one I will teach you now is morphing. I love morphing. Keep in mind, we have, this is the first point, right? Second point, third point, fourth point. Okay, just for fun, let me create one more and do it like this. Okay, now I'm going to come here and duplicate this drawing into two. See my drawing substitution, there's only one drawing there, right? Let me duplicate it into two. I'm going to come to frame 10, right click, drawings, duplicate drawings. Now how many drawings are there? 2, right? Now I want to morph this one from this to this. So but the morph that I want to do now, I want to take this one and put this one like this, push this one inside, put this one like this, take this one like this, maybe even take this one like this or whatever, right? And I'm morphing it from here to here, okay? And do the Alt M here, right click, Alt M, bam. Do you see? So I'll now have this. You understand? So but then it's not doing very well. I don't really like what I'm saying, right? So what I'm going to now do is I'll go back to my morphing and look at it. This is the morph happening here, right? In this place. This is the morph happening there. So I'm not going to, you get? So now this is 1, no be so. I'll put 1 here, 0 1. Then when I click on it, bam, it's supposed to create 2. Do you see? Bam, 3, bam, 4. You understand? So 0 1 2 3 4, that's 5 points. I come to this place and I project the hints. So now you remember I'm saying that this is 0 coming here. This is now the new 0. Do you get? This is 1 coming here. This is now the new 1. Do you see? This is 2 coming here. This is now the new 2, right? And this is now the new 3. So let's see it now. Do you see? The morphing is now going to look a bit better. You see? You understand? So let's see this one. You get? Let's see this one. 4 4 2 2 3. So it's okay. So it's working fine now. Thank God. Thank God. I was about punching my 1,000 something dollars screen, almost punching it. But I'm not a frustrating type. I was getting frustrated over nothing. Well, nothing. All right, so that's how morphing works. Let me add more points. Let me see if it's going to smoothen it out. I don't think so, sure. It's going to spoil it. Let me see. What am I using to do this? Okay. You learn fast. You learn fast, students. God save you. But you get the point now. Okay. As you can see the way my blood on the boil since. Alright, so let's leave that one out. Let me just rename this. So if you want to rename, you double click on the name here and you change the name. Morphine. Let me just off it. Alright, so let's go to the next one. Remember I said pan, hand pan. You get? And you can rotate as well. You know, I told you that if it has all this small stuff, it has something inside. To reset this scene is what shortcuts. I want to reset this scene, like from the rotation. I want to make it normal. Yeah. Don't worry. Let me say it. Shift N and Shift M and M. Don't forget again. Well done. Well done. I could have just given you -20. So it's better I just help you like that. So now you have zoom as well. I have zoom, but you don't need these ones because you can use shortcuts. Yeah. What is shift and trace? Nah, I don't use it. Do you get? So this one now is the animate current frame, animate off, animate with onion skin in range. Okay, that's when you want to do all this animation that I did here. You understand? If this one was not in animate current frame, it will not work. All these things that I did will not work. Let me show you by doing another one. So let me see, drawing, add and close. So we are, after we do this and we do this, do you get? you are done with the interface. Do you understand? So there's no longer excuse that you don't understand these tools. That's why it's good you practice, right? So I'll now start raining a lot of stones and brimstones on you to see if you turn to pillar of salt. Do you get? So I'll just be raining, then that's why, because I will assume that you already have taught you the tools and you can use them. Bite your lip all you like. I can bite mine too. Do you get? So in this one now, I'm going to now create a shape, which is what I did before. Okay. I don't know why the shortcut is not working. Alright, so I'm going to come to this place, set the pivot to maybe like here. Okay. What I'm trying to do is like falling object this time around. So I'm going to increase this guy to like 30 frames, F5. Alright. So now it starts from the top, right? It starts from the top here. And it's going to, so you can see it has set a keyframe. So it's because this guy is on. That's why. But if I off it now, and now say I want to drag it all the way down to the ground from here to here, it did not set any keyframe. Do you notice? There's no keyframe. So you don't want that. You only off this when you know you are trying to design, you are trying to draw, you are trying to design something. But once you want to start animating, you go back to this. And the one with animate with onion skin in range is when the animation only affects what this onion skin is covering. Do you get? We'll be able to do more of that later. Alright, because now it's trying to tell you that this is your object, it goes up. Do you see that it is in the range of the onion skin that it sets keyframe at? See, let me do it again. Do you see? It sets keyframe here and it sets keyframe here. It didn't set keyframe here. You understand? So see. So it sets 2 keyframes. So if I now say, okay, let me bring it down here, it have set another 2 keyframes. So see. You understand? So it's going to set multiple keyframes. There are instances where you can use it, alright, but I don't usually use it. Sure. There are instances where you might need it, but not more. Okay, so that's that about that. And I think normally I wanted to teach this, but this one is for advanced class, for intermediate advanced class, IK. You understand? Like maybe you want to, let's say you have that drawing here. Let me open this. Oh, come on. Let me just change this color to blue. And this one. So this one is still going to affect this one. But this one is like a bone control. Do you understand? It's more or less a bone control basically. So it works with the pivot. So in instances where maybe you have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. You now have, let me off this one. In this, or better still, let's project instead. Right click, delete. This one you have like you have the head, you have the eyes. You have the mouth, you have the body, right? And what else? and you now say, okay, let me project this, remember, to different layers, right? So now in this one you have this, right? Or peradventure I want this face and mouth, let's just use rectangle, and mouth to be on one layer. Then I now create another layer, Ctrl R, add and close, and created the body, right? So now this one, this is the body of this, and this is the head. Oh, another layer, right? Then we have the teeth and eyes. Now come to this one and now place the pivots here. You get, come to the second one, place the pivots here. You understand? So we have the pivot for this here, we have the pivot for this here. So I'll now click on this guy, and then let me extend the 250 F5. I'll now come to this place, set a keyframe for both, right? You can see both of them have that point. So I can come to this one, and the head moves like this. So it's like, let me put it like this. Okay. There's a way you can make the head a parent of this guy, of this one, where you can control both the body and the head together. Get? Alright. So you control both together, then can you do squash and stretch? Let's see. No, you can't. So it's just very fixed. Let me see if you can. You can't. Right? So you have to do that one separately. You understand? So see. Right? So I want to do this. You get? Then it goes like this. Hey, whoa. It's not me. You see? You get something like this, or I'll take it back. Yes. So in this place, I want to shift it like this. You get? Stick it forward a bit. You get? Bam. Then it hits, goes back up. It's because this thing is selected, that's why. You understand? So this is called IK2. It's called the IK2. So see, you see, understand? So now what I want to do is I want to now go back. So I've left this one now. I'll go back here, right? Let me see. So since I have that, I'll now come and now do some interesting things, like, so he's going to this place, Abby. I'll click on this guy, bring him down. Sorry, he's going here. So what I want is a squash in this place. Let's obey the rule. Do like a squash. You get? So the squash goes this way. Stretch. Then And that squash doesn't just squash like this, it expands also. So then stretch doesn't just stretch, it compresses as well. So just do you get? So then this head that is coming like this, I can delay it a bit. This is the head, I guess. Yeah, this is the head. So you can just rename it so you not get confused. Head, body, right? And delay the head a bit. You see? I'll take the head. This one, the head actually flies to this place. Who is that? What happened? What do you want? There's water in the fridge now. I can't take water in the fridge. Listen. But it goes back again to the normal head. But then you can do like spring action for the head, where the head goes like this and returns back to the normal. Listen. So this, we are obeying two laws here. We are obeying squash and stretch, then follow through and drag. Do you get? Squash and stretch, follow through and drag. Because now you can see it's following through, it's overlapping. This is overlapping action now, right? So that's how you do it. So, and see, I just worked a very simple shape. It's not even complex at all. Because you understand? Then you can still go on and on and on and on and on and just keep stretching it and stretching it. Then before you know it, solid objects that look like this will now start looking very fluid. You understand? So for this place now, you can even take this and take the head and stretch it down like that as if it's falling down. You see? And this one now, when it comes here, you can even decide to now stretch it even much more. Just make sure you don't do it too much because of the volume. You understand? So it doesn't start losing volume, basically. You get? And all I did was I worked with this guy and these guys. You get? That's all. And I used this to kind of set the movement with pivots. You get? So it's as simple as that. So this bone too, but I don't use it. I don't use it because I use something called pegs. I have pegs that I use. The same way I'm using this one now. You know, I don't really need to use it. I can just use this. Do you get? I really don't need to use this one. You understand? But the beauty of it is that it's IK. You can see as I'm moving this, so I can move the body as well. You understand? That's the beauty of using IK. As I'm moving this, I'm moving this one moves the hierarchy, is moving it as well, like together. Do you understand?